Hello and welcome back to another episode of Serie A Spotlight. This is episode 126 and we're your hosts Matt
and Jake,
here to talk to you guys about Matchday 36, as now there's just 2 games to go.
2 games left and things are really heating up. We've got a nice combination of games that mean absolutely nothing and games where there's absolutely everything on the line. 4 Champions League spots have been confirmed. These go to Inter, Milan, Bologna and Juventus. No thanks to Juve actually winning though, because they were held by Salernitana, but thankfully for them Atalanta beat Roma, meaning that they'll finish at least 5th.
Yeah, Juve getting that last minute equalizer against Salernitana. We've
Massive
been saying,
moment for them.
Salernitana's a free 3 points, but not for Juve.
Yeah.
This is officially Juve's second worst ever second half of the season in their history. So they really did need that stroke of luck to get them over the line. What's the difference between Udinese last season and Juve this season?
Yeah, absolutely nothing, right? A strong start, then you just ride off that for the rest of the season.
Yeah, exactly.
Allegri had some funny post-match comments where they asked him, like, what did you make of this game? He's like, 2 more points. We need 2 more for Champions League. He's been saying this for the entire season. He's counting down to Champions League. We have a few more European spots up for grabs. Of course, that 3rd Champions League spot is either going to be Atalanta, Roma, or potentially Lazio's, but it needs to go terribly wrong for the others for Lazio to get that.
Yeah.
Then we have Fiorentina, Napoli and Torino fighting for a Conference League spot. And of course, as you alluded to recently, we might even get 10 teams in Serie A, so in Champions League. So we'll see, of course, what happens there. It depends, of course, a certain sequence of events needs to happen, right?
Exactly. So Atalanta need to win the Europa League. And Fiorentina need to win the Conference League. If that happens, apparently, because it hasn't been stated anywhere officially, it's just what makes sense. Then obviously 6 teams in Champions League, 3 teams in Europa League, and then 1 team in Conference. And that 1 team in Conference could very much be Ivan Juric's Torino. But we're getting a bit carried away. Goal of the week, Tijani Reinders for the first time ever. Amazing strike in Milan's fucking demolition of Cagliari. Not the first time Milan trashed Cagliari this season. I believe the reverse fixture was a 4-1 win. He did say after the game that he does hope that he will get his name on the score sheet more next season.
We can tell when he shoots instead of passing.
Yeah, I was about to say, please don't get carried away, Tiani, and pass the ball, because a certain Sandro Tonali, who you replaced, used to love passing the ball, and that's what we want to see more of.
Absolutely, but he had a fantastic game this game, and of course he's a quality player. Happy for him to make goal of the week. There have been some weeks, man, we just like the 3rd best goal was better than this week's best goal. Absolutely. It's funny how that goes. Sometimes I think when things tighten up, it's harder to score. People are less likely to take risks at this point in the season. Maybe. At least for the team still fighting for something. We've got. I was working my way down the table, brother. All I'm going to say is that 13th Lecce in 13th place are safe. That leaves 3 teams with absolutely nothing to play for at the moment in Genoa, Monza and Lecce. We can label them the chillers.
The chillers,
yes. But somehow Monza and Genoa are still giving teams a bloody nightmare every time they play against them. 14th to 19th, anyone can get relegated. Salernitana, the only team that are officially relegated, of course.
Yeah.
So anything can happen.
Yeah, I've got my money on Sassuolo getting relegated after they lost to Genoa. On the other end of the spectrum, like you said, obviously there's teams fighting for that 1 Champions League spot that is left, likely to go to Atalanta. It's in their hands. They're the only team out of that bunch that I believe have 3 games left to play. But in Europe, Roma have gotten knocked out against Leverkusen after a 2-2 draw. It was almost a miracle as they were 2-0 up due to 2 Paredes penalties being scored in the Olimpico. But Leverkusen are just quite literally undefeatable. And they brought back 2 goals, came 2-2. Their streak goes on to like 50 unbeaten games in a row. Roma out, Leverkusen through to the final.
Patrick Schick, right, scored at the very end. I believe he came on at the end and scored the goal to make them not lose, if I'm not mistaken. And they kept their streak alive. Now, funnily enough, Patrick Schick is an ex, and no one's talking about that.
Oh, that's true. That's true.
But I do believe it was him.
Translates everywhere. Atalanta and Fiorentina go through to their finals. Atalanta beat Marseille 3-0 in Bergamo, whilst Fiorentina got a 1-1 draw and are also through to the final after winning 4-3, I believe, on aggregate. So good to see, at least not in the Champions League, but at least in the other two European competitions, that Italian teams are progressing, and as a result of that, there's the coefficient and more recognition now, going towards the most beautiful league in the world.
The reason no one's talking about Patrick Schick scoring at the end is because he didn't.
Okay.
A guy called Stanisic scored.
Okay. I see where you got confused. To be fair, we have the Coppa Italia final tomorrow or Wednesday or today, depends when you're listening. This is always I always do this today, tomorrow, whenever you're listening.
Yesterday.
Amazing final. That is why, by the way, we're recording a day earlier today. You'll notice that we did release the episode a bit earlier. Between obviously Gasperini's Atalanta and Allegri's Juventus. It's obvious who the better team is right now, but in a knockout competition, in a final, I can't help but favour Juve slightly, man.
Juve and the Coppa are very similar to Real Madrid in the Champions League, right?
Yeah.
Where they just know how to get it done, and even if they have a terrible game, they can somehow win it and lift the trophy in the ugliest way possible. That's what Allegri's good at. He's good at disrupting the tempo of the opposition. He's good at shutting up shop. He's good at killing the game off, and he might not let Atalanta play their game. But what gives me hope for Atalanta is the fact that I can't remember Juve being this bad.
That's true. They do have a massive blow. Atalanta, Scamacca is out for this game. He's suspended. For Juve, Locatelli is that guy. Now, I know Locatelli is by no means a great footballer, nowhere near one of the best sixes in the league, in my opinion. However, he is the six for Juve, and we have often said that they don't really have a replacement for him. When he was out for a while and Nicolosi replaced him, we saw them struggle a little bit. So, hey, a factor for both teams. But finally, the most exciting part I find about this podcast at this time of year, bro, Serie B playoffs. Oh my God, we have the final teams. You have the grid.
So, yes. Parma and Como have been promoted. Parma, of course, won the league a while back. They confirmed it. While Como left it till the very last day. And they actually drew their game, but Venezia couldn't beat Spezia, who were fighting for survival. Spezia actually beat them thanks to Esposito and managed to survive. Crazy. Had they gone down to Serie A, that would have been mental.
Yeah.
But so a bit of information about Parma and Como. Shall we do that now?
Or let's see who the playoffs.
The playoff grid.
Yeah.
Okay. So the playoff grid, basically we've got Venezia and Cremonese already through to the semi-finals. These are all two legs, including the final. Okay? Palermo against Sampdoria happening on the 17th, and Catanzaro against Brescia happening on the 18th. Now Catanzaro actually plays some nice champagne football.
Beautiful football, bro.
Football, like amazing. If you write down Catanzaro tiki-taka on YouTube or on TikTok, you'll find what we're talking about. It's crazy, their patterns of play. So yeah, very exciting stuff over here.
The winner of Palermo Sampdoria will face Venezia, whilst the winner of Catanzaro Brescia will face Cremonese.
Who do you want? Not who do you think will go up. Who do you want from these three teams?
I hate that on the side of Sampdoria, Venezia and Palermo, those are essentially the teams I want the most.
Those three, right?
Those three in particular. But after watching the way Catanzaro play their football, I wouldn't mind them either. I would say, especially Venezia, Palermo for the drip, and Catanzaro.
Yeah, for me it would be, I think, Venezia first for those away games.
Yeah.
Sampdoria second for the Lanterna Derby.
Oh, but that's about to get too violent,
I
man.
know, bro.
That derby, there's some shit going on right now.
Better. Palermo as well, I would love as well. I'd put them third.
Yeah, okay. Palermo are cool, man. Palermo are very cool. Miccoli back in the day.
Iconic, Ilicic,
so many Ilicic, Pastore. Dybala, yeah, absolutely. So we will be covering that a little bit. Jake and I love the playoffs. In fact, tonight there's the Serie A playoffs, which we'll keep a bit of an eye on.
Absolutely.
As well.
Yeah, we've got some information about Parma and Como at the end. Like, many people are under the impression that Fabregas is actually Como's manager, but he's not. He doesn't even have the license technically. So we'll fill you in at the end of this episode.
Sure. One more piece of news is that, to a degree, Chievo are back.
Chievo are back.
To a degree, because Pellissier, their legend, who spent his entire career over there, won an auction and bought a club for 330k and won this court case that he had in order to get the branding of Chievo for this team. The team's name was initially Clivense, FC Clivense.
Yeah, they began in the third category in football, the lowest amateur football level, and clinched the title by the season's end. In 2022, they ascended to Eccellenza, obtaining the sporting rights of San Martino, Speme, and clinching promotion to the 2023-2024 Serie D championship, which is pretty impressive.
Yeah, their plan is that by 2028 they'll be in Serie B. That is their plan.
And they can do it, the flying donkeys.
Yeah.
They'll play in Serie A when donkeys fly. That's how their nickname came about. Absolutely lovely football team, and they've got all the rights, the logo, the name, everything is the same, and they currently sit in mid-table in Serie D. So let's keep an eye out over there on Pellissier's newly founded Chievo Verona.
I wonder if they'll have the same honors. I don't think they will. I don't think the honors will carry over, but that could just be me being a
I don't know if
pessimist.
that's included in the rights. I would hope that they are, because it would be weird, right? Please refer to our second Wikipedia page for the rest of our honors.
Literally. If you guys are new here, don't forget to drop us a follow on our socials, Instagram, TikTok, Twitter, YouTube, and drop us a rating wherever you guys get your podcast, wherever you're listening to us, be it Spotify, Apple, Google, so on and so forth. Any extra love you guys can show us on YouTube would be much appreciated. We have just started video that's consuming a lot of our time, efforts, and resources, so any extra push you give us over there would really be appreciated.
Absolutely. Yeah, you guys should do video. Do video. We did video. Now it's your turn to watch it, right?
Exactly. Tell us thanks. Just drop us a subscribe. Drop us a like on our videos. I would love to give our patrons all a shout out right now, but you're typically the guy with the list.
I've got the list prepared, ready.
My guy.
Thank you very much to Alan, Andrew, Andy, Anthony, Tim, Campbell, Sluge, McNoodle, Lena, David, Kai, Luca, Matthias, Mint, Michael, Ed, and Tonna. Thank you very much. These are the people who keep the show alive. These are the contributors to the show. We love you guys. You are part of our family.
Yes, the spotheads. If you guys want to become spotheads and be called out in every episode and be part of the latest group chat in Calcio history, it's only €3.99 a month. The link is in our bio on Instagram. So if you want to be part of the family and help support this show and upgrade our resources, hey, we'd be extremely grateful and happy. We'll be doing things a little bit differently in this particular episode. Typically, as you guys know, we'll go through each game and go through an entire play-by-play and discuss each and every talking points. However, as Jake correctly said at the start of this episode, there are some games that maybe don't carry any significance and that mean nothing, and then there are some games that mean everything, such as Atalanta, Roma, for example. So what we will be doing is going through the games ever so slightly, but discussing more the bigger picture, because we have just got 2 match days left to go, and the bigger picture is what we're all about at the moment.
Absolutely, in total agreement over there. Of course, we'll be starting with Atalanta Roma, which we cannot really skim over, and we'll be covering in as much depth as possible.
Yeah.
Of course, Atalanta started with a 3-4-2-1 formation this game, with Carnesecchi in goal, Darun, Hien, and Jim City at the back, with Ruggeri and Hatteber on the flanks, Ederson and Pasalic in the middle, with Coop Miners and CDK playing behind Scamacca. For De Rossi, it was a 4-2-3-1. It looked more like a 4-4-2 at times.
Yep.
Villar was in goal with Christensen and Angelino at the back, with Mancini and Indica as a centre-back partnership, if they were there. Cristante and Paredes were in the midfield double pivot, with El Shaarawy and Pellegrini on the flanks, and Baldanzi playing behind Lukaku. This was a massive game for 5th place, of course, as both teams were on 50 points coming into this. Both teams have been quite close recently, finishing between 2 places of one another in the past 3 or 4 seasons.
Wow.
Sorry, in 3 out of the past 4 seasons.
Okay.
They finished within 2 points of each other. Yeah, Dybala and Spinazzola were out for Roma, while Kolasinac and Home were out for Atalanta, as they have a bit of a crisis at the back, of course. They needed the likes of Darun to step up at the back over there. And he did a pretty good job, man.
He did.
Yeah, this was Atalanta domination, bro. They had 3 corners in the first 10 minutes, almost scoring through Jim City, almost scoring through Lukaku, an own goal at the very beginning. CDK scored 2. He hit the post. Coop Miners hit the post through a free kick and missed an open net at the end of the game. Pasalic had a good chance as well at the end, saved by Villar. It was absolute domination, man. Pellegrini did score a penalty for Roma after Abraham had won it.
But it was a strange penalty call. It was very soft.
Yes.
Yeah.
I remember a particular FIFA. To be honest, every FIFA that we've played before this one.
I think it got patched, either this one or the one before.
Yeah. When you slide tackle the striker, and the striker would have already shot
a year ago.
Yeah, a year ago. Yeah, and you hit the player, the referee would give the penalty, and that was a glitch in the game.
And a red card a lot of the times as well. I call it FIFA bullshit.
Exactly, and FIFA bullshit spilled into real life over here, as Abraham had already got his shot off completely.
Yeah, man. Yeah, I can't believe that that's a penalty, but it was, and Pellegrini stepped up and scored that.
And they had another chance, and then through Pellegrini after that, and they could have easily equalized. He mishit the shot. He shot it quite centrally.
Yes. But what Roma did over there is it's giving them a bit too much credit to say that, and then they grew into the game. All that happened over there was, I felt like Atalanta had that pure domination. They just feel so much more electric and so much more of a unit. Obviously, Roma with their tight schedule, but to be fair, even Atalanta have a very tight schedule. I think they just have a bit more depth, which allows a lot more depth, which allows Gasperini to rotate. Roma missing Dybala, so obviously they struggled, and they really struggled to maintain and to contain rather this Atalanta side. But then Atalanta did what Atalanta do. They get a 2-0 lead, and then they put themselves in danger. Yeah. And that is essentially what they did here. They did that against Verona as well. They did that against Monza. They do that against absolutely everyone. So Roma, you are Monza.
Is it a loss in concentration? Is it just being demoralized in the moment? What do you think it is?
To be honest, I'm not too sure. I'm not sure it's like being demoralized. I don't think it has anything to do with that. I just feel like when, and this happens to a lot of teams, when they're on the ball and they're trying to maintain a result, more often than not, they get caught between two minds of, should we go forward, should we defend, where should we place our main focus, should we press here or should we stay back? And I think a lot of the times there will be players on different wavelengths, so someone will be out of position and that exposes a gap, and obviously Roma in this scenario would be super hyper focused on exposing those gaps and attacking it. I think it must be something like that.
That's a very good point, and I think it rings true, because I forgot what the stat was, but I had seen something that it's a football cliche, to be honest, only a stat that a goal is most likely to happen after a goal happened.
Yeah, exactly.
So yeah, that makes sense. But brother, this was the Charles De Ketelare show. He was flirting with a hat-trick. Yeah. He scored 2 goals in 2 minutes, I believe it was. He was on great form, man.
Yeah. No, he was... well, to be fair, his goals came in quick succession. His first goal, I feel like, Mancini did him a bit of a favour because he let him do everything he wanted to. Literally played him onto his favoured right foot.
It's like he was so bamboozled that he cut in. It's like he wasn't expecting it at all for some reason. He was like, oh shit, you can see him like trying to recover, like
trying to raise his leg, like and not managing. Yeah, he looked amateur over there. But CDK totally revitalized as a player. Centrally, he's way more effective than he is in a wide position, which is where he was playing for Milan. Lest we forget, he struggled at the beginning of the season with Atalanta as well. For the first couple of months, he wasn't the player that he is now. But now Atalanta have found their guy, because not only is he scoring great goals, but he has great link-up play as well with his teammates. The way that, I believe it was the second goal, him, Scamacca and Cope Miners played together in that drill was absolutely amazing. And Percassi, who is, I believe, the technical director of Atalanta, I'm not sure. Okay. But he said, we will make it happen. They will sign the Ketelare for 23 million, no matter where they're going to get that cash from, they're going to do it. It's 23 million. It's a 23 million option to buy, plus 4 million in add-ons and a 10% sell-on clause to Milan.
Yeah, which is pretty much a win-win situation because Milan are getting their money back for it's almost like the deal never happened.
Yeah, exactly.
For CDK, which is good for Milan. He had a monstrous game, of course, this game, bro. If you can see, he operated mostly on the right-hand side, but the difference is that he did operate centrally as well. He has a lot of freedom to move around. You can see he took 4 shots, only one of them was off target, one of them was saved. That's the one he almost got the hat-trick with. The miss shot, he could have done much better, to be honest. But
he's still... funnily enough, man, after a performance like this, I feel really tricky saying this, but he still has so many areas where he can improve his game. And that is very raw. Yeah, and that's actually like a compliment to him because this is by no means his final form. His size, his speed, his close ball control, his intelligence, but yet still, sometimes he'll mishit a shot. He'll clumsily miss a chance. Sometimes he'll be invisible, you know. So there's still a lot of space for him to grow, and he's definitely with the right manager and with the right group of players to grow and be encouraged by the players around him.
Absolutely, man. And you can see in his confidence as well. Like, for example, he had 77% accurate passes, which is good because it's a little bit low, which means he was trying the risky ones. With Milan, was always 95% success rate with passes. That's not good.
And keep in mind, he operates quite high up the field. So any successful pass over there is essentially a key pass or a dangerous pass. I was impressed, obviously, by CDK. But I was super impressed by Hien.
Oh my god, Hien marshaled Lukaku to oblivion.
Oh man, he was incredible, man, Hien. Yes. And let me tell you what, man, they have some players in those areas that go under the radar, some recent signings. There's Hien and, my god, his name escapes me right now, bro.
Kolasinac?
No, right-sided, right wing back.
Home.
He's
left-sided, I believe.
Left-sided.
Yes.
He is also fantastic.
He's super. He's out at the moment, but what a player he is. He was with Spezia.
Yeah.
I have a few stats on Hien as well. So he operated a third up the pitch. That's how high up Atalanta were actually pushing. 95% accurate passes, 2 long balls, 3 ground duels, 1, 4 aerial duels, 1 only lost possession twice, 2 fouls and was fouled twice. Those are both against Lukaku. 46 touches, highly involved, as many touches as CDK, and 4 clearances as well. An absolutely flawless performance, I think, for Hien.
Absolutely, and at the exact center of that Atalanta defense with fucking Lukaku, who just wants to back up into you and fucking
start twerking on
literally, man, he gets down and dirty, Lukaku. He ended a fantastic job to contain him, and also obviously it's like the weekly shout out over here to Cope Miners. Incredibly effective, intelligent, versatile, whether they're attacking, defending, or just simply playing the ball around. He is everything for this team in the middle. And again, super impressed, by the way, Scamacca is inserting himself in the build-up of this team. Because he is coming down and he's forming a bit of a triangle, man. forming a bit of a triangle. He's at the tip. Cope Miners is on one side and the Ketelare comes running through for that long ball. What I'm saying is the second goal. If you watch the second goal, it's exactly the way I'm describing it.
The pass was perfect.
Literally,
Perfect.
Inch perfect.
Yes. So I do think that Atalanta managed to dominate by focusing on quick transitions and fluid movement, and exploiting the spaces behind Roma's defense. As Roma played a 4-4-2, but it was high up. It was a bit too high for them. It wasn't a low block by any means. They wanted to attack. And of course, Atalanta just kept catching them out over and over again.
What do you think at the moment is the matter with Roma? Because obviously, we look back a couple of match days ago and it was almost not guaranteed that they'd get fucking Champions League, but it was well on the cards. The way that they were playing, the fact that De Rossi showed us that he's not just a player that could get his team to attack with an instant reaction, but he's also very tactically sound. He can get the team to defend. Do you think that this is simply a case of fatigue, or were we overhyping the train?
So I think De Rossi, what he's done is maybe it's getting a little bit overhyped naturally, as that's how football is, right? If someone does well, you raise them up, and then the second they do badly, you smash them to the ground. However, De Rossi here was up against Gasperini, a seasoned tactician, one of the best, most underrated tacticians in the world, I think, Gasperini, who's been doing this year in, year out, right? This is still De Rossi's first season at the top. Atalanta are a team with a lot of depth. Atalanta are a team who have played many different formations, many different systems. It's always a three at the back, you know how it is, but sometimes they can shut up shop, sometimes they'll attack you, sometimes they're a bit more balanced. So he definitely came into this game as the underdog, not to mention that they were away from home as well, missing their most creative outlet in Dybala as well. While you're looking at Atalanta over here, and then these players that you mentioned rightfully so before, Ederson, Pasalic, Coop Miners, CDK and Scamacca, man, even Darun and Hien at the back, they've all got a brain in them, you know, a good brain, man. They're so smart. They've been through it, man. They know exactly how to play Gasperini's system, man. They know exactly how to disrupt the opposition. So I think...
so it's not a case of overrating. It's not a case of overrating what De Rossi is doing at the moment. Because we can't just forget everything that he's done so far.
And even we can't forget who he's lost away. This is the other team that's fighting for that CL spot. They're direct rivals, so it was essentially a final, this one. Not to mention Leverkusen, a team that hasn't even lost in Europe this season, and he had them almost beaten until the 90-something minute when not Patrick Schick scored the goal.
Exactly, and also I just want to point out that in that game, let's roll back a couple of weeks. One of the reasons De Rossi got a bunch of flowers is for knocking Milan out of the Europa League in the quarterfinals, right? And I do believe till today that Milan were probably favourites over there, but then Milan were going through a negative spell. Roma capitalised off that. All fucking respect to them. Mancini scored over there. Earlier, Mancini, I forgot the other key fixture he had just scored in.
Lazio.
Against Lazio in the derby, and then he waved the flag. Let's just say Mancini scored an own goal in this game, and we're always rooting for the Italian teams, and we always want the Italian teams to progress no matter who they are, no matter who they're up against. But let's just say I'm glad it was fucking Mancini of all of them. As a Milan fan, I was like, just take that one. at least take that one.
Even now watching CDK run past him brought a smile to my face, you know? It's like rubber glue, back to you, Mancini.
I hate Mancini in a very admirable way. I hate him, but I would buy his shirt, you know what I mean? I would absolutely... It's the same way some of you guys might hate Theo Hernandez. You know what I mean?
Yes, he's the villain. He's a villain.
Exactly.
And every sport needs a villain. As
people that you love to hate.
Exactly.
They love to be hated as well.
Exactly. I used to work with a wrestler who used to tell me the booze. Hype him up. They're like applause for him, the booze. Kind of like Zlatan as well, I'd said that, I believe.
Ronaldo, they all say it. He's just relaying it, trying to look cool.
It's true. Be careful the wire, by the way, bro, because I'm seeing you rubbing on your crotch. Mind you, unplug me over here.
With my huge crotch.
One more thing before we move on. Is that Bologna? Wait, 1 second. What am I talking about?
Bologna, this guy.
Sorry, not. We'll talk about this later on. It's in the wrong place.
Okay.
Yeah, that's
you
it.
also, by the way, bro, caught me so off guard by going straight into the game. We didn't do the rundown. We didn't do the previous encounter, which was a 1-1 draw at the Olimpico. So Roma are winless against Atalanta this season. Now we leave the...
Fuck the rundown.
Fuck the rundown. Atalanta are now in 5th, however. They have just overtaken Roma. They're 3 points ahead of them on 63. Roma on 6th on 60. Keep in mind Atalanta have that game in hand as well. So the ball really fucking is in their court. Atalanta can go all the way. And excited as ever to watch them in the final against Juve tomorrow. I will personally be wearing an Atalanta kit and watching that.
Absolutely, same here. That's it, man. Let's move on to the...
There was Juve Salernitana that ended 1-1. The previous encounter was a 2-1 victory for Juve away from home. Now, the goals over here happened... So, Salernitana opened the scoring in the 27th through Pierozzi after an assist by Junior Sambia. Juve were essentially attacking all game, trying to find that equalizer, and then Rabiot found that in the 91st minute from 0 to hero. He was at fault for the first goal for not properly marking Pierozzi in the area. However, he got that vital winner at the end. Sorry, that vital equalizer at the end. Again, Juve showing us absolutely nothing over here, close to fucking nothing. The only reason I like watching Juve is Cambiaso.
Oof.
And every single game that I watch Juve, no matter how shit they are, there's always... I always look at Cambiaso and think, how special is this player?
Do you know how many key passes he had this game?
I don't, bro, but tell me and fucking...
8!
8 key passes.
You know how crazy that is, 8 key passes? That's meant like CDK against Roma had 2, just for comparison.
Jesus Christ, man.
Yeah.
Jesus Christ. And he's so versatile, I honestly think... Like, bro, you see him operate as a 6 over there. You see him operate as a 6. If they had more competent wing backs, I wouldn't be mad if he started in the 6 against Atalanta in the final. Because he's... Honestly, I still, till today, guys, I don't know which is his preferred foot. It doesn't matter where the ball lands. He has such good control. He has such good vision. I never see the player he's about to pass to. He is incredible. And I hope... There's this guy on TikTok. He's a Juve fan. I follow him. He's a bit reactionary, but very, very good. His name escapes me right now. And he keeps hyping him up. And he has a huge English following. Stop! Stop! What do you want him to go to Chelsea, man? That you want him to go to Chelsea? You want to make 60 million, 70 million? Rather have Cambiaso than 60 million, 70 million.
Sorry, bro. You know what Chelsea will never have? The weather or the food.
Nice, good man.
Or his nonna. You know how Italians are with their nonnas.
Yeah.
Salernitana, bro, coming into this game, just to paint the picture a little bit over here, had conceded 75 goals in Serie A.
Madonna,
okay?
man.
Juve and the reverse fixture put 6 past them at the start of 2024.
In the Coppa.
In the Coppa, exactly, sorry. But yes, they put 6 past them. This game, Juve only managed an XG of 0.15.
It is...
Despite hitting the post many times, okay,
embarrassing. It's honestly embarrassing. Yeah. And Allegri's reaction at the end when he didn't know that they mathematically qualified.
Yeah.
If he was my manager, bro, I would have fucking hated
out already.
It. I would have hated it, man.
So Salernitana, man, 2 wins. And twice as many managers have already been relegated. Juve with all to play for. They've just been overtaken by Bologna on the table, and they leave it to the 90th minute to score against a team who have conceded 75 goals this season and are already relegated. And tell me, okay, because they're already safe, Champions League is pretty much confirmed. Now, why are the likes of Genoa and Monza, who have literally nothing to play for? Granted, maybe, okay, with the spots of the Conference League, maybe they'll move down a little bit, allowing one of them to leak in. But they're giving everyone a run for their money at the moment, these teams. Why can't a team like Juve, why can't they just do it, just for the sake of the fans who show up to watch you, man?
Literally, bro, literally. And I know that there was some strike going on as well in this game. I think their Curva did something. I'm not too sure. So obviously Juve still qualified after Roma failed to get a single point against Atalanta, so they do get Champions League. That's not going to be a very exciting showing in the Champions League by Juve, I feel. Fagioli is back on the 20th of May. And that means that I think not this match day, but the one after, he'll be back on the pitch, which is a big plus for them. I also saw Miretti played quite decently.
He did.
In this game. Quite decently. He was ticking when nobody else was, kind of thing. Yeah. Chiesa once again came on. I don't know why he didn't start this game, but whatever. Probably because of he was resting him for the Coppa. But he came on and had another great game. One thing Juve were struggling up against Salernitana was penetrating the low block. And you'd think, okay, but isn't Chiesa going to run into a brick wall over there? No, what Chiesa's going to do is he's going to get the ball, go direct and put it on a plate for Dusan Vlahovic, who honestly, at the moment, I do not like him at all, bro.
Yeah,
I've defended Vlahovic a ridiculous amount of times. I still think technically he's a brilliant striker. His size, his finishing typically, and just the way that he was at Fiorentina and towards the beginning of his Juve career, amazing. But recently, bro, his shooting boots have been off. He can't hit the target.
Bro, he can't score. Even if he had 50 euros and a prostitute right in front of him. Huh?
There you fucking go, man.
At the moment, it's not happening for him. Since
it's not.
He can't bloody hit the target, man. He can't score, dude.
50 euros as a prostitute.
Depending where you are in the world, I guess.
I don't know. I've never.
I have no idea, bro.
Personally.
Yeah. It's true he's off form, and I'm starting to wonder what the hell is wrong with him, to be honest with you, man, because he is a guy who we talk about this often, and I don't want to spend too long on it because we often discuss this, but the talent is there, and it's not only talent, it's great talent. In front of goal, his efficiency in the past for Fiorentina in the early Juve days was ridiculous. So clearly something's up. It might be the environment, it might be in his head, but whatever it is, let's hope it gets sorted. So maybe he needs a new environment. You never know.
Could be. And one thing that really intrigues me, bro, is that last summer or the summer before, I'm not too sure, Juve were fully ready to trade him out to Chelsea to bring in Lukaku.
Weird.
I was like, what the hell is going on? Maybe they see something that we don't about Vlahovic. Maybe he's a bad trainer. Maybe it's a lifestyle thing. I don't know. But I do think that at the moment you can't be too critical of Juve players because I think the environment is abysmal. I think the coach, number one, Allegri, has to go immediately, and they need a full preseason under the same management. Don't forget that last season they had that whole ass situation plus Valencia scandal, got docked 10 points, first 15, and then they took them back, and then 2 minutes before their game against Empoli they took away 10 points, went out and lost 4-0 or something, or 4-1 to Empoli. This squad has been through it, and this was supposed to be the season, the light at the end of the tunnel. And they were close to Inter, and they were doing decently. They were clearly the second best team in Italy. And it all came crashing down. There's a massive divide between the fans as well. A massive reset button needs to be clicked by this team.
And it's strange because the last two games against Roma and Milan, Juve seemed to be playing a more offensive brand of football. They had Milan pinned back. Granted, they were demoralized and tired from the Europa League. But they played well in those games, even in the one against Roma. It was a different Juve, you know? And then to go back to your original style against the likes of Salernitana. Now, I know Allegri has said before, we're playing a relegation team. We have to play like a relegation team. Maybe that's his mentality. And he goes into this game with the idea of it being a scrap, maybe more than anything else. I can't understand
I just think that the way he thinks is football 10 years ago, is football 8 years ago. It's not the football of today. I think that Allegri falls in the same category as Mourinho right now. And you can tell me, look what he's done at Juve, and he manages to get them top 4 and Champions League consistently. I don't give a fuck. Firstly, what happened all those years ago. It has nothing to do with what he's capable of today. You know, it's like when you were getting hyped for Fernando Torres joining Milan because of what he had.
I'll take him nowadays. Have you seen him?
He's fucking jacked. But I think he was my personal trainer. Like. And secondly, what was the secondly? Secondly, this is a very, very talented squad that he has. Individually, he has a very talented team. So I'm not surprised that this guy manages to get Champions League with this team. Why? Because he has Vlahovic. When he's on form, he's top 3 strikers in the league. No debate. No debate. Him, Osimhen, and Lautaro. He has Chiesa. When he's fit, he's fantastic. Okay, there are a lot of whens and ifs over here. He had Rabiot, who last season was essentially the best midfielder in the league. This season, I do feel like he's fallen off a little bit. He's got Bremer at the back, who's amazing. You know, he has a great squad to work with. So I don't think we should give him too many flowers for getting Champions League.
He has decent individuals in the 11, but I don't know if the squad's very deep, to be honest with you. Look at how many youth players he has had to rely on. He's had to rely on the likes of Yildiz, Miretti, Berenchea, these guys, you know, that don't really have much experience or that don't really offer many guarantees. This is a team that last season didn't get any income from European qualification, so there was that as well. I think the whole idea here was for Allegri to kind of steady the ship. We've discussed this. He had a great start and a terrible ending. So in reality, he did all right. Time to move on.
Yeah.
No matter how much it costs you. 20 mil, I know I've been reading these things. It's going to cost them a fortune.
8 or 9 million.
Make it happen. You need to move on. You can't give your fans this. You can't give your players this. It needs to change. Speaking of, you have any more points? Because I have a point about Juve's next gen.
Go for it.
So, you know Juve's next gen? You know they have a team in the lower leagues?
In Serie C,
They're in Serie C, yes.
Sorry, I think I'm about to take it out of your mouth,
Please.
No? They're in the Serie C playoffs.
They are, yes. They have qualified for the Serie C playoffs. And before it, there was kind of a big question mark around whether they could go up to B or not. In reality, yes, they can. Apparently, as long as they're not playing in the same league as Juventus, they can continue to climb.
That does tend to be the case with these next gen teams, and I believe there's another next gen team in the playoffs of Serie C.
There's an Atalanta team, Atalanta under 21s, I think. But
Atalanta under 23.
They're playing against Catania today, I think.
Yep, they're 0-0. It's the 28th minute. 27th minute, Vicenza are beating Tarato. They're all 0-0. Oh, there's Benevento as well.
Wow.
That would be cool. I like
remember
Benevento.
Gaich?
Yes, of course I remember
Viola with them.
Viola.
Yeah, anyway, interestingly enough, right now, Juve's next gen is meant to be a team of young talent that's developing, right? And that gives you the likes of Fagioli, Miretti, Berenchea, Sule, all these guys came from there. Their top scorer is 34 years old. Of next gen Juve. His name is Simone Guerra, and he's scored 17 goals across 38 appearances for the allegedly under 23 squad. Now you tell me, where the hell did this Guerra guy come from? Guerra has played for many teams. He's played for the likes of Spezia, Piacenza, Virtus Entella, Benevento, Venezia, Feral Pizzalo, and at Feral Pizzalo is where he actually hit the ground running. He scored the first 42 goals between 2015 and 2018. He went to Vicenza, where he wasn't as prolific, went back to Feral Pizzalo, where he scored 28 goals in 88 games, and was picked up by Juve next gen, where he scored 15 goals in 34 games.
That's good.
17 actually.
Do you think they know he's 34 years old? Because they have him with the next gen team?
I guess he's
maybe they've got it wrong.
Maybe. I guess he's just carrying, you know. He's got a bunch of kids behind him, just shouting at them, you know.
Oh, bro, and I'm sure there's an 18-year-old, very talented boy that would love to have that role.
Hey. But for now, it's all in Simone Guerra's hands.
Guerra translates to war in Maltese.
And in Italian.
Oh, and in Italian. Yeah. Yes.
But yeah, so that was Juve disappointing their fans, and Salernitana not quite managing a victory, as they only have 2 this season.
Yeah, literally. Milan 5, Cagliari 1, and then was a huge victory for Milan. Milan destroyed Cagliari on 3 different occasions this season. It was this 5-1. Previous encounter in Serie A was 3-1 away from home. And the previous encounter in the Coppa Italia was a 4-1 victory for Milan. Ben Nasser opened the scoring. Christian Pulisic made it 2 after a great Leao assist. Cagliari got 1 back through Nathan Nandez after a good cross by Zappa. Reinders scored our goal of the week to make it 3-1. However, 4-1 was Rafa Leao as he rounded the goalkeeper, and then 5-1 Christian Pulisic making it his first brace ever for Milan. And a huge victory for Milan, and terrible loss for Cagliari, who this could hurt them significantly. Even though they did God's work earlier, this could really hurt them.
They're a different side away from home.
Literally. And Milan had their mothers' maiden names on the back of their shirts, which was really cute. At first I thought, Pulisic is just a massive Jack Harlow fan. Leao was purely out. And then they just all have these weird messages.
Because Leao, of course, had Conceição on the back of his shirt. And as we discussed, and we've been discussing recently, Conceição is the number 1 target for Milan. That's being mentioned to replace Pioli. Pioli joked at the end of the game. He said, had I seen Leao's shirt, I wouldn't have played him. But yeah, he rested players this game, Pioli, and it actually paid off because Chukwueze and Kalulu looked good.
Yes, man, and I mean, it's not breaking news that Chukwueze looks good, purely.
Yeah, exactly.
Because,
very good.
Yeah, Chukwueze has been excellent down that right. And the way to go is Chukwueze on the right, Pulisic down the middle, and Leao on the left. Yeah. I have no doubt in my mind that that's the way to go.
In fact, Pulisic started on the left and wasn't as good, moved to the right and played a lot better. Scored his first brace for me.
Yeah, exactly. And we also saw Kalulu back, and I thought he looked good. He
did.
He looked like he didn't have any ring rust. Now Milan need to invest in a right back, and I believe Emerson Royal is being mentioned. Emerson Royal of Spurs.
I haven't heard good things, but we trust the algorithm, right?
So many Emersons, man.
So many.
Legendary defensive midfielder, the Brazilian one.
The one with the...
He was at Real, and then he the humble looking guy.
Yes. Very humble looking guy.
Yeah.
We showed up, he was like, he looked so tired, man.
But he was so
good.
He
was good,
so good.
But you're looking at him, you're like, damn, this guy needs to rest.
Literally,
he looks like he's been up for like 3 nights,
Literally.
But yeah, what a player Emerson was back in the day. Now we'll see with this Emerson, if it's actually true. Yeah, Chukwueze actually did pick up a knock, and Leao came on and absolutely terrorized Cagliari, as we mentioned. Leao's got 14 goals this season. Last season it was 16 goals in all competitions. Do you think he's played on par to last season? Do you think he got worse? Do you think?
I don't think Leao was as consistent as he was last season. I don't think Leao was very consistent last season either. I think obviously Leao's best season was the Scudetto winning season, and not to say that he is regressing by any way whatsoever. I just feel like there's, similar to Vlahovic, maybe it's a mental thing that I don't feel like he's often sharp. Leao, I don't feel like sometimes it feels like he doesn't want to be there, which kind of sucks to see, especially when he has that talent. I don't think the numbers reflect how Leao has performed this season. Not that the numbers are insane, because they're not, but 14 goals this season, when you said it, you shocked me. But I don't think... I wouldn't have realised that he had 14 goals, because he hasn't been good this season.
He is one of those players, right, that the expectations are so high of him, because you're totally aware of what he can do, and then that extra gear he has. That, like... It just annoys you and frustrates you when he isn't quite at it, especially when he does this whole, walking around stuff. I think that what has changed this season, of course, is that Milan aren't as Leao dependent. The fact that Pulisic is there, Giroud had a cracker of a season.
Many more weapons.
Okafor coming on off the bench. Yes, Milan had many more weapons, which kind of eased the pressure off of Leao, which is good, I think. It's good to not have him as a sole protagonist, because he has shown that he can, at times, be a little bit unreliable. Right there, we say.
Yeah. And what do you think about say Milan want a payday. There are 3 names that are being thrown around on who's going to leave, who's going to stay. And those 3 main players are obviously Leao, Theo, and Maignan.
So I think with Leao, the only way he goes is if he explodes at the Euros, because his release clause is 175 million, and I'm not sure many clubs would match that.
However,
after the season he had.
A team can go up to Milan and say, listen, we'll give you 100 million for him. And Milan can say yes. So technically, the release clause doesn't need to be triggered for Leao to leave. Milan can still say, okay, look, take him for 120.
For me, what Milan would do if they want to pay this. So ideally, nothing. Ideally, stay fine as you.com, right? If you have a budget of 50 million, just play with that 50 million. You don't have to actually sacrifice anyone.
Except Maignan, because because of the contract negotiations.
I think exactly. If someone had to be sacrifice the goalkeeper who's Donnarumma you.
And who hasn't had a great season.
Where is he now? I saw this is actually quite funny. I saw Giroud reacting to messages, because Giroud's actually officially announced. Everyone sent him love, and all the players were sending telling him.
Don't worry, we're going to as well in this episode.
They're all in the studio with the Milan logo behind them. Maignan, his was filmed from his phone, selfie, and he was in what looked to be a jungle, brother. Where is Maignan, dude, right now? He's too unavailable for a goalkeeper. He's very good. He's got great reflex saves, but he's not perfect. I mean, he's not perfect at his near post, for example. I don't think.
Not at all.
I don't think there's any reason for Milan to make one of their highest earners a goalkeeper. It makes absolutely no sense.
No.
Make another attacking player your highest earner. You have to score to win games. You have to score to win leagues.
And look at Inter. Onana was this jewel for them, right? One of the best goalkeepers in the world. Un portiere attaccante, he can ping the ball, and he exits the box with the ball at his feet, and he pings it. They got rid of him. They brought in Sommer. And to me, they have a more reliable goalkeeper over there.
Exactly the same.
Exactly.
They're exactly the same. That's what people don't realize. We don't need to give 6 million euros to our goalkeeper when you can bring in Di Gregorio, give him 2 million, and he's happy. He's like, la, my salary has just doubled.
Exactly.
And okay, you don't have a goalkeeper who's as competent with his feet. He won't get you 2 assists a season, but he'll play every single game, and he will pull off miraculous saves, because Di Gregorio is this season's Vicario.
Yes, absolutely. He is. Absolutely.
And even if you don't get him, get Martinez of Genoa. He's incredible as well. There are so many goalkeepers in the league who are good.
Not only in the league, but worldwide.
I think at this point for Milan, anything remotely close to 40 million upwards, I sell him. I move on. You make double your money that you brought him in for, and then you can afford to bring him.
I don't think I'll go so low. The only reason I might go low is because if he's being a hard-headed prick about the contract, then I would accept 50 million for him. I'm not liking how Theo Hernandez's contract also expires in 2 years. June 30th, 2026.
We'll see. He won't be cheap if he were to leave. He's very highly rated. In most conversations, even if people don't watch Serie A, they regard him as the best left back.
It's just, I think it is time for Milan to look at these contracts and time to do business. I think a player like Theo, go so high as you can. To me, Theo is a potential captain once Calabria is replaced, which I believe he has to be. He has to be.
Yes.
Obviously, the weakest link.
Yeah.
Obviously, the weakest link.
It's glaring, isn't it?
I think you look at legendary captains, man, and there's by no way comparisons. But you look at eras and captains, and you think of Baresi, and you think of Maldini, and you think of these iconic captains. Theo Hernandez feels like a fitting captain for AC Milan. Calabria doesn't quite feel like that. Calabria feels like, oh, thanks, kid, here you go. Here's that armband that you've always dreamt of. But Theo, with his aura and his world-class ability and his personality as well, he could be a legendary captain for Milan.
I know what you mean, and I do agree with you
to a degree
that Theo Hernandez has that aura. He's got kind of that top player vibe about him, and And he's got the personality and the attitude of a captain as well.
Like,
you know,
he has
grit.
that Ramos.
However, with Calabria, it's a totally different. What's the word I'm gonna use here? It's a totally different. It's romantic him being a captain because he is a Primavera boy. He knows what it's like to be Milan through and through. You know, I mean, this guy remembers Kaká playing with him. You know what I mean? Like, no one else remembers that shit. There are memories that Calabria has of being at Milan, things he's seen as a kid playing and coming up the system, and these players simply didn't.
Versus Theo Hernandez, who played a World Cup final.
And that's it, and then as well,
That and then is
and then
the
you have Calabria who doesn't
right?
even get called up ever.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly. That's the difference.
It's true.
That's the difference.
It's true. I'm happy that he earned the captain, Calabria, but I do think his time as a starter is up, and that pains me to say because I enjoyed watching him ever since he was a kid.
Yes,
coming up.
bro. Him, Romagnoli didn't exactly.
He's my age, right? Calabria, roughly. Calabria.
Is Calabria 28?
I think he might
29
be
nowadays.
Bro, I'm 29. That's mad.
Theo Hernandez is my age. Me and Theo are the same age. I'm a bit older than Theo.
Calabria's 27. He's younger than me. He's your age. Calabria's
homies,
he's my younger brother.
Andiamo al bar.
Let's go
brothers.
for a drink, guys.
Yes.
I want to see Terracciano, I want to see Simic, I want to see Zeroli, I want to see Camarda, and I want to see Bartezaghi.
In the coming matches?
In this one and the one before. Where are they?
Agreed. Now, second place is confirmed. Bring
but you know
the
what it is?
Boys out, man.
Pioli is confirmed to be out, so why would he?
For the fucking shits and giggles, Stefano, have some fun.
No, he wants his ratio, bro.
He wants his ratio.
He says, you think I'm going to play these guys? Like, fuck my ratio, bro.
Literally.
It's true.
Fuck the ratio. fuck this ratio. Just quick message from Milan because the news did come out about Giroud, like you were right to address. Giroud's been at Milan for 3 seasons. It feels like Giroud has been at Milan for the past 8 seasons. How I feel like he has had a super strong impact at this team. How I feel like he's a Milan legend, winning the Scudetto for Milan in his first season at the club. Pivotal, one of the first names on the team sheet when Milan struggled so much to find a number 9. There was this number 9 curse, and Giroud came and made us forget entirely about ever having the curse. He's been nothing but professional, even going in goal to help Milan, and he's just, I am in absolute awe of Giroud, and he is, before ever being an Arsenal legend or a Chelsea legend or anything else, he is a Milan and France legend, Olivier Giroud, man. And I absolutely adore him. I adore him.
I am a massive fan of the type of player Giroud is, the type of professional he is, and the type of man he is, to be honest with you as well. He is a player I had wanted at Milan for a very long time.
Yes,
I don't know if you remember. Yes. I had been tweeting, if you look up, at that Milan fan Giroud, you'd see me like screaming for Giroud ever since, because I thought he would be a good fit at Milan. And I'm so happy that I got to see it, and I'm so happy that it went so well, man.
Yeah.
Because I don't think Milan could have had a better striker in that Scudetto winning season, man.
And like there are moments, key moments of Giroud, and Giroud is a man of many beautiful and many bombastic moments. He's the guy that scored the scorpion kick. He's the man, Girato Giroud, that fucking goal against Inter where he spun that last minute winner against Spezia, where he turned into fucking prime Erling Haaland to score that bicycle kick. No, he so many beautiful memories, so many beautiful moments. That video of him running onto the pitch when Milan won the Scudetto, and the fact that I'm gonna miss him so much, bro.
Same here,
the bleach blonde hair in summer and super tanned, like he's just such a presence, man. I'm gonna miss him so much.
He has fans for life, man.
Yes,
Giroud. He will be forever loved at Milan. At Arsenal, there's that whole thing that he didn't. He has a bit of a reputation because he didn't fucking. He had one season where he didn't. I'm not sure if his numbers were good. If he missed many chances, and
Arsenal weren't good, bro.
I don't know. They think of him very negatively. Chelsea fans love him, but I think at Milan he will never have to pay for a meal ever again in Milan.
Literally, bro. Literally.
Never.
Literally.
Because honestly, he's so likable as a person, and yeah, that's pretty much it. I think we can
move on, but we will never forget you, Olivier.
Absolutely. Yes.
Never.
You know, he came to play second fiddle to Ibra. He got that starting spot and he never looked back.
Second fiddle my ass. Number 9 is now up for grabs. Let's see if the curse will return. The Milan teams just got they got these teams that are facing relegation, and they told them, we're not gonna give you a fucking break, because last week Inter struggled and they drew to Cagliari, was it? No, they lost to Sassuolo. They drew to Cagliari, and then Zaghi was like,
I love when you do this.
guys.
So it could be the thumbnail.
And then Zaghi was like, guys, I don't know about you, but I am a serial fucking winner, and this isn't gonna happen again. Like, okay, went to Frosinone, demolished them, 5-0. Everyone got on the score sheet. Frattesi scored the opener. Arnautovic scored, right? Buchanan scored, and Buchanan looked quite good, man.
Yes.
Lautaro Martinez scored, and then Thuram scored to top it all off.
Bro, how would you pronounce this name over here? Is it
Tyone,
Trevor
Tyone, Titi. He's Titi.
Yeah, Titi Buchanan, 25 years old, the first Canadian to play in Serie A. Found that crazy, yeah? I found that statistic crazy. The first Canadian.
There's never been one fucker from Canada.
From Canada.
Thank God you stepped in, because
you were going to say Canada.
Was about to say Canada. Like,
I've heard so many people saying Gilardino, by the way. that to me is hilarious. You just imagine him with a hairband. Just fucking dropping a shoulder.
Bro, when we went to watch Milan,
he was
Gilardino. There was a guy next to us, Gerardinho, he was calling him. You don't remember?
Oh my God.
Gerardinho.
That's hilarious. But Gilardino was actually Gilardino when he assisted Del Piero for that winning goal.
The back heel, bro.
To Berlin.
Back heel. Absolutely. Yeah. And he's Gilardino right now for Genoa.
Absolutely. No, right now he's Gilarotti, I'm telling you. Anyway, Buchanan joined Inter for 7 million plus 3 million in add-ons. He signed a 4.5-year deal, becoming the Serie A's first ever Canadian player. He came on for the first time in a 4-0 victory over Salernitana, and he got his first goal last game against Frosinone. He was named in 2020 the Canada Soccer Youth International Player of the Year, which I'm not sure is that crazy, to be honest.
That's what I'm wondering.
And if you look at his CV, bro, I don't reckon like Sigma. He started his career at a team called Sigma. Isn't that like what young people are using as
like alpha kind of
Sigma
of
or something? Then a New England Revolution. But then he did play for Club Bruges, where he had 50 appearances.
That's probably where he got picked up.
Yeah, and then Inter must have sniffed him out.
No, he looked good in this game.
He did. That was a nice goal, very well taken.
Yeah, Brescianini almost scored too.
Yeah, Brescianini.
Yeah, that couple cracks.
He's a good player, Brescianini.
I heard in Zaghi said that he basically wants to keep all of the players that he has. And I'm just wondering, like, what about Dumfries? What about Arnautovic? What about Sanchez?
I think
is it a good idea to keep all of these guys?
I think what he meant is from the starters.
That's a very different
story. Because he obviously wants to solidify the team, and he has...
Be clear when you speak to us, Inzaghi.
He has stressed that he needs reinforcements before, which is, and we have joked about it because he's got the deepest squad in the league. But ideally, he wouldn't lose anyone for him, right? But it's been the case recently that Inter have been losing starters every season. We'll see. I do think Dumfries will be one of the ones who...
I think he'll be the sacrificial lamb, because he is super lucky that he has so many talented players around him, Dumfries. Because honestly, I'm saying, I really don't think he's a technically gifted footballer in the slightest, man. I don't think he is the kind of player that can pick out an intelligent pass as a footballer. I think he has his strengths, which is bombing up and down the flank, but often caught out of position. I feel like he has anger issues, attitude issues. Honestly, bro, he looks angry all the time, man. He has
resting angry face.
He has the it's always like it looks like he's always breathing out from his nose, like
He's always
super
exhaling.
angry.
Yeah, he does look like
Wesley Snipes.
yes, that's true. Blade.
And Blade.
He's I mean, let's not get it twisted. Deployable player. I'm not sure if he is ideal to have as a starter for Inter.
Yeah.
I think they could do better, basically. Yeah, I think we can gloss over this one. To be honest, bro, they absolutely destroyed Frosinone. Frosinone tried to do their thing. They tried to surprise Inter with an attacking trident of Sule, Reiner, and Khedira. Up front, they made too many individual errors. Barella absolutely dominated that midfield.
Barella
He was incredible
insane in this game.
Yeah,
He was absolutely ridiculous.
and they had no answers to disrupt Inter's offensive.
That's just one thing I want to say, is with Frattesi and Asllani in the team and not Mkhitaryan and Çalhanoğlu, I feel like Barella had the creative freedom in this game, and also the weaker opponents, because it has to be said. But here he played a bit more of a free role, typically where we tend to see Mkhitaryan play, and he's like, go forward, attack, and you get to see certain things that you don't typically see in Barella, because typically what do you see? You see a hard-working, box-to-box, clean midfielder. But you forget his ball control, his touch, his
range of passing.
His range of passing. He is a magician, and people forget that because he's so industrious and he does the dirty work. But he's honestly a little magician, and I hope Spalletti gives him some freedom in that midfield.
Yeah, I think he is the best Italian player at the moment.
I think so.
Yeah.
I think so. Scamacca, because of his form, is up
Di
there.
Marco, I think, is up there.
But Barella for the past few years, I would say.
Yeah.
For the past few years. Napoli Bologna.
That was crazy as well.
Mental.
That was another bit of domination.
Quick, like in 2 minutes everything happened, and then they were happy to take their foot off the gas a little bit. For those of you that don't know, Napoli 0, Bologna 2. This put Bologna in a position where all they needed was a result to happen in another game, and that would give them.
I think they instantly qualified.
They instantly qualified.
I think
after
so. Yes. Anyway,
you're right. You're absolutely right.
It was Juve who needed the Roma loss.
Yeah.
Bologna approached this game with confidence, and a solid defensive performance, I think, laid the groundwork for this victory, as it typically does. They're a very balanced team. The first goal came from Calafiori's ability to break through Napoli's lines of pressure. He was absolutely amazing this game, as he typically is. Calafiori's press resistant, man. He gave a well-timed assist to Ndoye, who scored his first goal in Serie A.
Crazy.
I didn't think that. I thought he'd scored before. He'd scored in the Coppa for sure against Inter. But it's weird. It looked familiar watching him celebrate. Very familiar. Yes, Bologna capitalized on Napoli's defensive lapses again for their second goal, with Posch scoring from a corner kick due to defensive disorganization from Napoli. In the second half, Napoli attempted to mount a comeback, but struggled to break down Bologna's defense. Bologna responded by introducing Salamakers and Orsolini, adding a lot of energy and giving them a lot of freedom in their offensive transitions. I thought they were amazing. I thought Bologna had Guevara. It was hilarious. It was so visible in a triangle the entire time.
He was
in a cage.
Off. He was pissed off.
Obviously, he was three-manned, totally three-manned, and they couldn't do anything about it. Napoli. I thought Odegaard was very nice with his build-up play and his flick-ons. And this was the first time Bologna have qualified for the Champions League in 60 years.
They had featured, so the first time ever in Champions League, actually, because it wasn't the Champions League back in 1964. Right? And I believe they had only featured in the competition's preliminary round. In 1964. They've never gone on to compete in the final tournament. This is the next season is the first season we're going to have the new Champions League format. So Bologna They can't hope that they get an easy group or something of the sort. They're gonna play Bayern Munich, they're gonna play City, they're gonna play absolutely everyone. And my only question for you, bro, is how will they do? And I know the answer. Depends on who they keep. If Motta's gonna be there, if Zirkzee is gonna be there, Calafiori.
There are reports that fill me with confidence, and there are reports that don't really give me as much hope.
Give me both.
So the number one thing they want to do is keep Motta. That must be said. That's what they want to do. Might not be possible. Their plan B, they're very keen on Sarri. I like that. That would be good. They're keen on Sarri. A few other names that have been mentioned, which I'm very keen on as well, are Italiano.
Italiano would be a great fit.
Amazing.
It'd be a
those
great
are those are the two I
stylistically.
think that they should focus on and try to make one of
They'd
them
have
happen.
Italiano and Buongiorno. No, that's Torino.
Yeah.
Like, what the hell am I saying, bro?
Oh my god! You hear that? No. I think that those should be the priority. Sarri or literally Italiano, because you've got European consistency over there.
Yeah.
Second tier, Palladino. They like Palladino. Sure,
Nice.
I like Palladino as well. A bit riskier.
It is
Definitely
riskier.
riskier because he's
It is
never
riskier.
actually had the opportunity to coach a club in Europe. Or he's never actually got them there. He's still young. Monza, I think, are quite similar to Bologna. Players-wise, individuals-wise. I don't think
Yes.
Bologna are much better than Monza. So I would go for one of the others.
I think Sarri is a likely one. Sarri is a likely one. I don't see Italiano doing it because for him, after reaching European Cup final last year and having a good season with Fiorentina, having a good couple of seasons with Fiorentina, feels like it would be a bit of a lateral move. Typically, you go to Fiorentina, Bologna, those two in particular, and then there's the top 7.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
But you know what, bro? I would also say no way Jose. Because because he'll be managing in the Champions League.
For a
So
season.
that's for a season,
For
yes.
a
But then it's
season.
in his court. Ball's in his court to balance things out and to try to do it again. But it would definitely be a step up for a season, as you said. A name I'm not too keen on is Di Francesco. They're looking at Di Francesco as well.
Why?
But I don't know.
They feel
I'm not
like
sure.
they have such
They
a
want
good
to concede
defensive
every game.
record. Like, what the hell are they trying to do, man?
I want to take a moment to give a shout out to Bologna's sporting director, Giovanni
Yes,
Sartori.
that's him, bro.
Yes.
That's him.
He has worked his magic across many teams in Serie A. And I'm helping
Him and
them.
Giuntoli should arm
Yes.
wrestle.
I agree. Helping them rise from the shadows and into gloria.
Fuck.
Like he brought Chievo from Serie C to Serie A and a Champions League qualifier. He qualified Atalanta to the Champions League 3 times. And now he's qualified Bologna to the Champions League for the first time in nearly 60 years. And as you mentioned, not even. A few of his notable signings, brother. So he is the man.
Kessie.
Yes.
Nice.
Kessie, Kulusevski, Darun, Freuler, Gosens, Mancini, Pellissier, Barzali, Perotta, Zirkzee, Calafiori, Papu Gomez, Ilicic. These are all guys that he's brought in. One of his famous quotes is that he doesn't like watching videos of footballers because you don't see everything. He said the first time he watched footage on a player was during COVID. He would always go in
Oh
person
my
before
god.
that.
Oh my god.
So
I
he's
thought it was
definitely
I
old
don't
school.
do naps, and then I remember that was Drake.
That's Drake,
Not him.
Who can't do naps
He
nowadays.
can't. Him and the money are way too attached.
To go and do that. Yeah, absolutely. Have you heard they're trying to off him?
Yes, bro. They're trying.
Bad. I think they're trying,
to
guys.
fuck
I
Drake
know
up.
this isn't about football, but I think they're trying to kill Drake.
You think they're trying to break into his house and everything,
but it
like-
could be fake because his security tackled them to the ground. So Drake could have planted them himself to make
He's
himself
so
look.
the type,
Yo,
he's so they're
Yeah.
trying to kill me. They're trying to they're trying
Yeah.
to get me, guys.
I'm at that age now where I think to myself, who gives a fuck? These guys, these grown ass dudes are writing poems about each other. If you read them without the instrumentals in the background, you think to yourself, what are you doing?
The
man? Yeah.
guys, the YouTubers did this 6 years ago and they made millions. Like, so you're a bit late to the party. But anyway, Ravaglia, what a second goalkeeper,
I know, right?
man.
And to bench someone like Skorupski, you know,
Who's
clearly
been insane. He's been insane, Skorupski, as always.
Clearly, Motta wants to keep him happy. Clearly, the club want to keep him around because that's the only reason you'd give minutes to your second goalkeeper. It's something that's hardly ever done.
You think he's just a fun guy, and he's like, you know what, I like this guy.
Ravaglia, bring him on. He's crazy.
Bring this lunatic on.
He's honestly fantastic.
He is good, and bro, moments before, because there was the penalty save in this game. He saved Politano's penalty. I had personally never seen Politano miss a penalty.
Same here.
Maybe I haven't looked that hard. But I said, why? But like when I noticed Ravaglia was playing, I'm like, why would he play Ravaglia in a game against Napoli, that if he wins it, he gets Champions League? He's not playing Skorupski, who this season is one of the best goalkeepers in the league, and more often than not, Skorupski is one of the best keepers in the league, because he's a miracle worker at times.
And guess what? He doesn't make 6 million a year.
No, he doesn't make 6 million a year. He's amazing, like. And you're like, oh, but Ravaglia is good if you have two goalkeepers like that. You should play. I'm like, I don't think I necessarily agree. 2 minutes later, he saved Politano's penalty, and great save.
It wasn't a bad penalty.
No.
Yeah.
But Napoli, disaster.
I mean, they're going to continue to push for that conference, maybe Europa spot, but
I'd rather get nothing than get Conference League if I was Napoli. How embarrassing after winning the league. After winning the league and all that, you don't play in conference, man.
I'm sure
focus on the league next year.
De Laurentiis views it differently.
He can view whatever he wants. The guy just wants to make money to fund his movies, bro. I once heard that he's a movie guy, and I haven't shut the fuck up about it. Like,
oh my god. Lazio.
Yeah, Lazio 2 Empoli nil. Previous encounter, same result. Patrick scored and extended his contract.
That was a celebration. He ran and signed it. No, but that would be cool.
And then Vecino got the winner in the 89th. It's funny, in this game, both goals happened at the end of each half. That's just a fun thing for you guys to think about.
Absolutely, and they got it done quite comfortably, Lazio.
Empoli are D to the O to the N to the E, bro.
Done? You think so?
I had said
originally
that Empoli are the ones that will get relegated. Their next game, bro, and if Key tells me she wants to go to the cinema or something, man, we're gonna have a serious problem. Because if you're
wondering, Keith is his boyfriend.
Key is my girlfriend.
What's wrong, man?
Keith is your boyfriend. Okay. What was I gonna say? Next game, Empoli Udinese.
That's a must watch.
Most ultimate relegation, as juicy a relegation 6-pointer.
That's a ribeye
as ever, but that's a medium rare ribeye. Like.
That's a ribeye. Yeah, it was pretty comfortable for Lazio. They Empoli never really looked too threatened, apart from the end of the game. At the very end over here, they created a few chances, even at the end of the first half. But it seemed to be Lazio in control for the majority of this one. I think this is one of the ones we can kind of gloss over.
Shout out to Mandas.
Yes,
who has been solid ever since Henry Bonello's gotten injured.
Yeah, it's true, and he hasn't brought Provedel back. He hasn't been playing him.
No,
it's almost like Manda.
He's still out injured.
But he's back, no? I think he's with the squad.
We said this last episode as well.
Yes, he should have been available for the last game, but I guess Mandas must have earned his spot, so he's being rewarded for his performances. Maybe
Provedel is a top
Provedel is great,
goalkeeper.
But maybe he's easing him back into it. I guess he made some good saves on this one as well.
He did.
Yes. Yeah, all right. Moving on to the next one, we had Fiorentina against Monza. This happened yesterday. This was a comeback, actually, because Juric scored the goal. He's been on great form towards the end of the season. Finally started to get some luck with Monza.
Yeah, man, and that's 3 goals in 2 games. 2 of them being headers, this being one of them. Dani Mota with the assist, amazing as well, a bit of trickery. I believe it was Quarta, Martinez Quarta that was marking Juric. And I feel like he wasn't exact, like maybe he didn't get the brief, like, look, ball in the air in the box, be hyper fucking aware, because there's someone with probably the best header in Italy, the 33-year-old flying donkey, like, literally. And he kind of didn't put much effort into fucking jumping up and heading the ball away like a good defensive header. And you just see George coming in like...
Juric is a different animal, man, on that pitch. And that's what I enjoy. You all know this, those of you who listen regularly. I'm a big fan of having someone who's just a totally different build. I like the likes of Banda, who's ridiculously small, and I like the likes of Juric, who's ridiculously big, because they add a new dynamic to the game, that you need to be extra cautious. No matter who you are as a defender, or what you've played against, this is something totally new.
It's funny, you were never crazy about Insigne. I was. You were never crazy about him.
It's true.
5'3.5", like Insigne.
He was tiny.
5'3.5".
I just found him a bit repetitive as a player. Insigne.
I mean, but that thing, no one can
Fear
stop
not
it.
the man who knows 100 kicks,
but the man
who has practiced one kick 100 times.
Exactly.
Or something like that, anyway.
Bravo.
Yes, it was Nico Gonzalez who scored from a cross by Antonin Barak. And we had a discussion of it. Who has the better header, Nico Gonzalez or Lautaro? Because they're both players who aren't particularly tall, but who have this weird aerial dominance about them.
I think it's Nico.
Same here.
And not because of recency bias, because I've seen him even...
this has been the case for seasons now.
And also, man, I've seen him in this game in particular. There was one header that he won, bro, where he hung in the air like an animal. Like it's literally one of his strengths as a footballer.
Yeah, he is absolutely amazing in the air, and I think it's all about the timing and the spatial awareness, to be honest. And then Arthur Melo, man, who barely ever scores, right? Who kind of took advantage of the space in midfield, found an opportunity, shot from quite a distance, and scored. Italiano got all the praise because Arthur said that Italiano had been telling him for ages to shoot from out of the box and to take these.
It was a crack,
It was a crack. Yeah, he totally scored a crack over there.
I think the only thing I kind of want to address about this game is Fiorentina's upcoming cup final against Olympiacos, because obviously let's just say that everything kind of feels like a dress rehearsal for now for Fiorentina. I don't feel like they have everything to play for in the league, but not too much to play for, because they're in 8th, and it kind of depends on what Atalanta do in that final and what they themselves do in the final that determines their success. Let's just say Fiorentina have a better chance from winning the final at getting Europa League, because as it stands, if let's say Atalanta don't win the final, 5 teams go to Champions League, and then 6th and 7th get Europa, and in that case 8th would get conference, and Fiorentina will end up in conference as a result of that. So I think go for the Conference League final. Everything else is a dress rehearsal. Like take 2, man. Take 2. You had the chance last season, but fucking West Ham were blowing bubbles and this and that, and like they managed to get it against you. Now it's fucking Olympiacos who demolished Aston Villa. So it's going to be tough, but Fiorentina can do it.
Absolutely, they can. And they have the experience on the stage that Olympiacos do not. They should use that to their advantage, because some of these players have been there. Most of them have been there, actually. So we'll see. Hopefully Thankfully, they won this one. They needed the morale boost as much as you can get, because overall they dominated, as Italiano teams usually do. And they left it late to actually get a winner. So that would be good for their confidence.
You know, Nico almost scored a fucking miraculous goal at a point, bro.
I think I missed it. What happened?
He turned 2 players inside out. He started the run in his own
half.
I hope they're okay. All you can see is organs, bro.
Just inside out.
You turned them both inside, like he cut in, then went back out. He did to 2 players, absolutely floored them. Then, to be honest, you should have passed, but after you floor 2 players like that, shoot.
Yeah.
Shoot. I don't care.
Absolutely. And that is the Salamaker's reasoning.
Literally.
And Theo as well, to a certain extent. Theo's like, you know what, I ran this far, I'm going all the way.
Literally. And also, I feel like Barak has really, really improved his game.
Absolutely,
at Fiorentina. And it's good he's playing these players now, because he needs to rest the usual suspects. But as things stand in that creative role, he's not a bad shout, Barak, as one of the strongest ones. Because Bonaventura... Where is Bonaventura?
He's been... I think he's tired. He's old. And he had a great start to the season.
Exactly, that's what I mean. He was called up for Italy. It was this whole thing, but he's dipped a little bit. And Beltran and Nzola kind of together, bro. I feel like they step on each other's toes a little bit. I don't feel like that.
I think Beltran is a good replacement in that number 10 pocket. I think Barak's been doing very well. It's low socks, high short season. And yeah, I think that these Hellas Verona X's are thriving all round, bro. You look at Di Marco, you look at Barak, you look at Rahmani. These guys are playing
Rahmani isn't exactly
not thriving, but he won the league.
No, that's true.
Yeah, absolutely. So we can talk about the next one, which is Hellas Verona, actually.
Yes,
and they almost mathematically confirmed survival.
It's almost like they thought they were going to win when they scored the first one, because they were freaking out, bro.
It was the 67th minute and their new boys Zviderski scored. Bro, they're on the money with these signings. Noslin and Zviderski, I don't have it on me right now, but they must have scored 5-6 goals between
them. Yes, I would say so.
Which is great. That's what they needed to kind of get out of that zone. But then the show was kind of ruined with Sava. His name is
Sava. Yes.
He is from Cyprus. We had never heard of him before because he's 18 years old and typically plays for the Primavera, where this season he's got 4 goals and 8 assists in 23 games. So he's been killing it for Hellas Verona's Primavera. Sava. Yes. He typically plays on the right, but can play centrally and as a striker as well. He seems to be a pretty good player as well, and he scored a good goal as well here, a header that seemed to be a veteran strike, and you could see that he was grinning from ear to ear. And then at the end, of course, Pietro Pellegrini scored, kind of rifling it in from a really awkward angle, really tight angle. It hit the post, hit the other post, and went in. And that
Kendrick loved it.
Kendrick loved it. What a go! That was the worst Kendrick impression ever. I sounded like, what did I sound like there, man?
I have no idea.
Jesus.
Someone that got his tonsils removed.
Yeah.
And then Verona, when they think they're going to win a game and then they don't, what is that game without a 96th minute Thomas Henry red card? I feel like I have seen Thomas Henry red card 90+6 on so many occasions, bro.
It's true.
He had it at Venezia, he's had it before at Verona, where he fought a manager.
The
Lecce manager, and he got sacked.
He must be the sorest loser of them all, right?
100%, bro. 100%. He just gets on and gets sent off, like.
Absolutely, yes. So it's nice to see Torino. I was afraid Torino were bending over, but there is still potentially that Conference League spot for them. And Jurek said if he gets the Euros, if he qualifies for European football, he's staying. So I would like them to actually qualify, man. We'll see. Then I see Torino in the Conference League.
Torino's Jurek in the Conference League. Let me tell you what, bro. They won't concede. They won't concede. Yes. They'll have a chance.
And they'll have to strengthen. They'll have to. Yes, I'm all for that, and I'm happy that they manage.
They have some sexy players. You know what I mean? That can do it. Bellanova.
Not really my type.
Bellanova can threaten. That front two of Sanabria Zapata, I'm glad that Juric figured it out and said, look, these two have to start together. Sanabria isn't an attacking midfielder. He's not a winger. Duvan is not a lone striker. And that they have to play together. He's figured it out. Ricci, lit. Ilic, lit. Buongiorno, lit. Milinkovic-Savic, lit.
It's true. They have a nice foundation.
They're lit.
It's true. Absolutely lit. We'll gloss over the last 2 games before we move on to our Serie B review. Some of the newcomers. We have some information that we'd like to share with you on them. Udinese actually beat Lecce, of course.
Shit.
Yeah, Lecce were playing probably with the worst hangover of their lives. They ran 3 kilometers less than Udinese ran this game, so you can tell them they weren't really up for it. They held out for quite a while, but then of course they actually started on the front foot. Lecce, as Udinese were kind of cautious, but then they gained their momentum and they grew into it, scoring 2 goals towards the end of both halves.
Mm-hmm. Who do you think drank the most? Let's fucking cut to the chase.
I saw a video
bro.
of Kristovic. He looked fucked up.
I was going to say Kristovic or Baschirotto.
Baschirotto's a health freak. He was probably drinking water.
But you think... I have a friend. You know him. Pons.
Oh, yeah. Good guy.
Milan
He's been on the pod, no?
Yeah, yes, of course. He's been on the podcast for a Milan special. He was particularly pumped for Musa as a signing. This guy is a health freak. He's a doctor and he is jacked. Right.
But he's no athlete.
But he's no athlete, no.
You know,
But he gets the most fucked.
Exactly.
He gets the most fucked. And I see him in Baschirotto. I think Baschirotto will be fucked. And I think Raffia. Would be a fucking menace, like.
If he drinks.
He drinks, bro.
You don't know.
He drinks. You don't know.
You know.
Yeah, I know. He drinks.
Yeah. Lucas scored the header, taking advantage of the space and the good service. Paero gave him a peach of a cross. Paero plays well.
Mm-hmm.
And then Samardzic at the end getting a rebound after Davis forced the keeper into a save, or into a 50-50. It was kind of a collision.
Mm-hmm.
They were missing Thuvan, and that didn't seem to matter because they have a few technically gifted players, and they exploited the spaces well to get this victory. Udinese have shut up the table a little bit over there as Lecce continue to party.
They have it's in their hands now because they have that game against Empoli.
They can draw everything
coming up. Yeah, they can get it done. Interesting to once again just remember Paolo Cannavaro. Oh, sorry,
yes.
God, Fabio Cannavaro.
Yes.
I make that mistake quite a bit.
They're brothers, to be fair.
Fabio Cannavaro, his impact now. He's got some good results. The draw to Napoli. This one, as we say in Maltese, ġitu tajba.
Yes,
this
came
one
good for him.
This game favored him. The Serie A gods gave him a good favor that Lecce had just gotten promoted, and they found out when watching a game on their phone, like, and they all freaked out, went out, drank their guts out like nothing to play for. Fuck it. And Udinese were like, great, because we've got everything to play for now. Yeah. So that was a lucky one for Cannavaro.
Absolutely. We had Genoa Sassuolo happening elsewhere.
Yes.
And Sassuolo actually took the lead in this game.
There was a disallowed Genoa goal first, remember?
Yes. Wait, I have everything here actually. So both teams adopted a 3-5-2 formation, mirroring each other. So Ballardini tried it again after it worked against Inter. He's like, you know what, if we can beat Inter, we can beat anyone. So he mirrored Genoa's 3-5-2. Genoa maintained a high tempo despite being safe from relegation, while Sassuolo remained compact and tactically disciplined. Gilardino urged his players to increase the offensive threat by deploying midfield wingers as auxiliary forwards. In the second half, Gilardino made substitutions to enhance defensive solidarity and exploit spaces on the right flank. He introduced Spence and Ekoban for Vogliaccio and Sabelli. Despite Sassuolo's attempts to build attacks, they were vulnerable to Genoa's counter-attack, with Goodmanson and Ekoban instrumental in breaking through and setting up Kumbulla's sensational own goal.
Honestly, Sassuolo needs to invest in a good defender. For once. We've been saying that, and what do? They get Marash Kumbulla.
It's so funny, man. I don't know what they're doing. It's been the problem since they first came up. No,
literally,
it's been Kirikes, Ferrari. These guys haven't been up for it in a while.
Figured
Tresoldi's
out
another
what
disaster.
A good defender is. They have never figured it out. Kirikes, man, my God.
The first goal was scored by Thorsby.
Yes,
and it was varred off, and then he got an assist. He's in great form right now. Thorsby, man. He's making them forget absolutely that he's been affiliated with Sampdoria for quite a while. I think Henrique of Sassuolo makes too many mistakes. I think he's an interesting 6, but damn does he lose the ball. He makes so many mistakes, man.
I think it's quite obvious what I think of the Sassuolo team. I think the players that stand out to me as good performers, to be honest, I just look at this point, I'm just looking at you, Tortsvet. As the player that deserves to stay in Serie A. I think Pinamonti could use a season in B. I think Lauriante is deployable at other teams. They can certainly Genoa could take him as
There are players who could
option.
stay, but I mean, I don't think many teams would be ecstatic to get any of these guys. You know, like even when you look at the likes coming up, Parma and Como, most of these guys, I don't even know.
Como are gonna invest,
Let's
man.
start. Como will invest.
Como are gonna go up, and I'll put money right now. Look at me, man. I'm sick. Como will go up, and they'll do a bit of a Monza. I think they'll go up. They'll get some players, experienced players that are on the brink maybe of retirement. Some good experience, because Como, you go to Como with that fresh air, the scenery, the views, the food. That's a place to retire, man. It's where Fabregas went to retire. You know, they'll get some very good players, man.
They will. I think so. I think they will always attract players maybe who are slightly past it. Yes, we can talk about Como if you want. It's a good transition.
Go for it.
So, as we mentioned in the intro, Fabregas is not actually the manager, but he's the assistant. He was caretaker manager for 1 month as he got special permission to actually be the manager there.
Special permission.
The Welsh Ocean Roberts is their manager. He's the former Wales assistant, and Como's story is actually quite a remarkable one. The last time they were in Serie A was during the 2002-2003 season, where they were relegated after a campaign which they only won 4 matches in. So they were almost as shit as Salernitana.
Not even, bro.
Yeah. Things went from bad to worse as more relegations followed, and they ended up in Serie D. The club also went bankrupt twice, but things quickly improved after Indonesian tobacco giants Djarum took over the club in 2019.
Wow.
Roberts was appointed caretaker manager in December after Thierry Henry recommended him to the club. Yes, he's a shareholder of the club, Thierry Henry.
Of course, he was there in the game.
As was Jamie Vardy. And word on the street, speaking of Como and the lake, is that Thierry Henry invited him personally to the game and to the celebrations. Imagine Vardy in Serie A with Como. Well, why not?
Vardy will leave Leicester. Bro, Vardy...
They've just been promoted.
Vardy could have gone to Manchester United. He could have gone to Chelsea.
But now it's his last dance.
He would have gone to Spurs. And when he gets them promoted, he's going to...
But maybe, at the moment, you know how it is in England. Leicester being promoted means that they've got all the money in the world. Now they'll replace him. The first thing they'll buy is a striker. Maybe they can go to Como, play alongside Patrick Cutrone, shithouse the Italians a little bit. Can you imagine him scoring against Torino and doing this? You know, it would be amazing.
I would love it.
I hope it happens. But
don't get too excited, man.
They need. They're working on upgrading their stadium, as it currently only hosts 7,500 fans.
7,500. We should lend them ours in Malta.
Yeah,
it hosts more.
Their MVP and top scorer is, of course, Patrick Cutrone, as we already said. I'm not quite sure what that was, and I hope you couldn't hear it. A few interesting players that they've got. They've got Semper in goal. He used to be with Genoa. You'll remember him from back then. Daniga at the back, who scored an important goal for them towards the end of the season.
Golden Nugget.
He's a very good kind of player at this level. They've got Sala, Marco Sala. You'll remember him at Sassuolo as well. Abdelgard, you'll remember as well, playing in Serie A. Cone, Baselli, remember him with Torino back in the day. Simone Verdi, of course, a specialist of Serie B and relegation fights. Strefezza, who you remember in Serie A only this season, he's playing there. They've got Nsame, who was a striker at Venezia.
He's insane.
Yeah. They've got a few very interesting players over here. Definitely needs a bit of
work,
a bit of beefing, but a good foundation to start off with, I think, over here.
Definitely.
Speaking about Parma as well, who are also very exciting, they are coached by Fabio Pecchia, who was Benitez's assistant. Rafa Benitez at Napoli and Real Madrid. He was also part of Benitez's staff at Newcastle, so Benitez is definitely a big fan of this guy. In 2016, Pecchia earned promotion for Hellas Verona, finishing second, but then he was relegated the year after. In 2021, he got Cremonese promoted, and then he left them unexpectedly to actually coach Parma, who he now got promoted by winning the league. He's got quite a few teams on his CV. He also coached Juventus under 23. he was a player as well back in the day. Played for the likes of Napoli, Bologna. He actually played for Como as well on loan. Juventus
he
as well.
represented Italy as well.
Represented Italy
He
at
has
under
11
21 level and at the Olympics.
Yeah. Fair enough.
Yes, regarding players, they've got a very interesting player they have is Adrian Barnaby. Barnaby, he's 22 years old, 5'7", offensive midfielder. His youth career saw him playing for the likes of Barcelona and Manchester City, and he has represented Spain at under 17 and under 21 level. He had a pretty good season as well in Serie B this season. They've also got Dennis Mann, of course, who's an absolute killer.
Love
Dennis Mann. We remember him in Serie A. He kind of man playing with kids in Serie B. 101 games for Parma, 22 goals. Of course, he's 25 years old now. He's reaching his prime. Hopefully, he does stay there. Hernani's there, Bonni's there, Ansaldi's there, Cholak's there. You'll remember all these guys. Cyprian, Circati, Mahaila's there. He was also bought by Atalanta at one point. I don't think anyone else.
Di Chiara.
Ooh, this guy, Charpentier, has been in Serie A as well. But that's pretty much it.
No, exciting teams coming up. Now we'll obviously see who's going to win the playoffs. Those are the playoffs if you want to watch fucking grinta and you want to watch comebacks for the ages. Like there was a season of Pazzini with Verona.
Yes.
The amount of last minute winners that there were was insane. The season Cagliari got
Verona,
promoted.
Pazzini.
Yes,
he brought them up. I just remembered. Like, that was crazy. The most recent time they came up, I think.
They haven't gone down since. Have gotten close. Cagliari last season was by far like the most entertaining one, man. These games are always fucking insane.
Yeah. And we're gonna see a few very prolific players playing as well.
I hope to God we see Poyampalo in Serie A next year.
Poyampalo is now 29 years old. He's the top scorer of Serie B. I think he's destined for a move upwards. He must be, especially if Venezia don't get promoted. It's always interesting. 27-year-old Gennaro Tutino scored 20 goals in Serie B this season with Cosenza, I think it was, a team who weren't even in the playoffs. He's too good to be in Serie B. Every single season, this guy is in the top scorer.
Even Massimo Coda,
but he's 35 nowadays. He should have made the move 2 seasons ago.
Literally.
We've got Brunori at Palermo. We're going to see as well in the playoffs. A very good player, very good striker. Then, of course, Süttirol's Casiraghi, they did not make the playoffs.
Gitkier, bro.
Monza scored 11 goals.
He was great in the playoffs for Monza.
Yes.
He was insane for
What was the song they were singing for him? Something hilarious.
Oh, not One Kiss.
One Kiss it was, bro. I don't know why, but One Kiss. They were singing One Kiss is all it takes.
Amazing, man. And obviously these teams, for now, all we know is that they're going to be replacing Salernitana, but I can safely say Sassuolo. To me, they're going down, Sassuolo.
Yeah.
I think Parma and Como are going to be replacing... my God, man, I'm blanking out so hard.
Salernitana
and Sassuolo. The third, and then I would say, just to make a bet, I'm going to say... Venezia for Empoli. Venezia kit, and I was saying, I wouldn't mind
Venezia up, Empoli down.
Venezia up, Empoli
but
down.
I have to make a prediction as well.
Yes.
I
love doing this.
I need some time, dog. I need some time, bro.
Relax. It's not that serious, man. What do you think?
Frosinone down.
Yeah. 2 games to go, bro. We're allowed to make predictions now.
Yes. Venezia, Frosinone down. And Venezia up as well, I think.
Okay, so it's about who's going down. €2.
I think so. I think Venezia have a pretty good team compared to... And have a pretty favourable... Run-in as well here. Because, I think they would have wanted to avoid Sampdoria as well nowadays.
Venezia?
Yeah.
But they're going to play them. They play either
Palermo
Palermo
you're
or
right.
Samp.
Oh my god, you're
It's
right.
tough.
You're right.
It's
I'm looking
tough.
at that incorrectly. It is tough.
I'm hoping it will be Cosenza against Cremonese, and then Venezia against Samp.
Cagliari made it from the very bottom from here.
Yes, bro. Yes.
Season. We'll see. Okay.
And then final, Cosenza Venezia. Yes.
Thank you very much.
Amazing. A bit different, this one, guys.
Yeah,
not
it was
as
fun, though.
It was good. A bit more free-flowing, a bit more conversation.
Coppa Italia tomorrow.
Coppa Italia tomorrow. Juve.
You want to bet Juve win? I'll bet Atalanta win.
Oh, but not for money.
Not for money, just for vibes.
Just for vibes.
All right. The winner gets an Instagram post wearing a crown.
Okay. Nice.
Let's go.
Very good. Thank you very much, guys. We'll be back next week, probably with the same format. We'll see. We'll see if you guys like it. We'll see what the feedback is like. Thank you very much for listening. We'll see you all and enjoy the footy tomorrow. Ciao.
This is Serie A Spotlight.
If you like Serie A or have ever liked it in the past, it's a good opportunity for you to listen once a week and you'll get filled in.
In the football weekend, that's like the main dish. But then a few days later, you drop your episode and that's like the dessert. And the dessert is just perfect.
It's good, the cake.
It makes it feel like we're all sitting in a room together, just BSing with each other.
The atmosphere is fantastic.
I promise nobody will ask you to send boob pics.
Sometimes may be good, sometimes may be shit.
I love how you go into so much detail and show so much passion towards each and every team. Literally, no team is left undiscussed.
When I listen to you, it's like I'm talking to you in a pub. It's like I'm chatting to a friend and you're chatting to me.